الحمد لله حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا Muhammad. All praise is due to Allah. And we ask Allah to exalt the mention, grant peace, and send His peace and blessings upon the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Welcome to a new episode. I'm your host Abu Mus'ab Wajdi Akkari. With me today is Sheikh Asim Al-Hakim and Sheikh Saleem Al Aamry and Dr. Mamdouh Mohammed. Welcome, brothers. Barakallahu feekum. Today's topic is one which should be of interest for every Muslim who wishes to gain a lot of good deeds. This worldly life is an investment, and the winner is the one whose good deeds outweigh his bad deeds. And there are deeds which you do that are relevant to you only, and there are deeds which you do which are relevant to others, and they benefit others. Among those deeds which benefit others is da'wah, the invitation to Islam, the propagation of Islam. And for one to be a da'i, one has to have certain qualities or characteristics. And we will be, inshallah ta'ala, attempting to address some of these main qualities that a da'iyah should have, so that every Muslim will make that effort according to his ability to be involved in this blessed, endeavor, and therefore perhaps be admitted to paradise by virtue of these good deeds. So we'll begin with the doctor. Doctor, what are the main qualities that should be found in a da'i?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. First of all, I'd like to just elaborate on, are you talking about da'iyah by profession or da'iyah by definition? Because I think da'iyah by definition, every Muslim by default is a da'iyah. As the Prophet ﷺ said, بَلِّغُوا عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةً. So I'm afraid if we try to gather as many qualities as we can, every Muslim should think that, or may think that these are prerequisites before he or she becomes da'iyah. We want really to tell every Muslim that you can be da'iyah in a limited sense.
Good.
Yeah. So this is very important to begin with, that any one of us, even if you're not 100% qualified or 50% qualified or 20%, when he embraced Islam after sitting with the Prophet ﷺ for a few minutes or an hour or two, the same day he started talking about Islam and inviting people to this religion without having this background that we are going to talk about. So it's very important to establish this. We want every Muslim to be a da'iyah, or every Muslim should understand that by default that he or she, they are da'iyah. Once you start disseminating the message of Islam, even the simplest form of it, inviting people to La ilaha illallah, so you are started to be on track of da'iyah. I'll leave the floor for others to bring some qualities, and then I'll add some.
Well, first, Sheikh Saleem, do you agree with what the Sheikh said, with Dr. Mamdouh? Do you agree with him?
I cannot disagree.
No, you have to.
You can, actually.
You can.
Alhamdulillah, salatu salam ala rasulullah wa ala alihi sahbihi man wala. What he said is absolutely right. And before we talk about the qualities, the importance of the da'wah in the first place itself. Da'wah is Arabic word, which means invitation. So you are inviting people. And the message of Islam came to invite the people. Invite them to what? To the way of salvation, the way of success, the way to save themselves from the evils of this world, the evil of the cursed one, their open enemy, Shaitan, who took upon himself to mislead them and not to spare any effort working around the hour.
He gives da'wah to them.
To them, of course. Of course. Every day he sent his children, as we all know in the hadith. And then the end of the day, they report to him. So da'wah is a calling. Even jihad, which is misunderstood concept today, nowadays, people, they call it holy war. It's not like holy war or something like that. Actually, the jihad, the philosophy of jihad in Islam is removing the obstacles from the way that blocks the da'wah. So da'wah prevails. Da'wah precedes. So we call the people. We offer them the guidance. This is Islam. This is the message. Do you want it? Yes. Please. I don't want it. It is your choice. No compulsion in religion. Your choice. Fine. Not only that, we will protect you as well. And we'll give you the freedom to practice what you believe. But please, let us take this guidance, this light, to those behind you. You say, you're most welcome. Thank you. No, you block the way. You stand in the way. No, it's not fair. It's not fair because you have no right
To deprive
others. Yeah. Let them decide. Let them think. Let them see what we have, what we are offering them.
It's that important.
It is that important. So now, if he insists and he becomes a stumbling block, then this stumbling block needs to be removed. It's the only way force is used, to remove the obstacles. So da'wah, the invitation, is the core of the message, calling the people to hidayah. And we know the famous hadith of the Prophet ﷺ to Ali. When he sent him to a group of people, he said, before you wear your, invite them. And if Allah makes you a cause of guiding one of them, it's better than the whole world, or the red camels in those days.
وَمَنْ أَحْسَنُ قَوْلًا مِمَّنْ دَعَا إِلَى اللَّهِ.
There is no one who is better than the one who calls to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And it is the business of every Muslim, as Sheikh mentioned. قُل, say, هذه سبيلي. This is my way. أدعو إلى الله. I call to Allah. Invite the people to worship Allah. على بصيرة, upon بصيرة, understanding, purity, clarity, vision.
Perhaps
أنا ومن اتبعني. I and whoever follows me does the same thing.
We have to do the same thing.
He does the same thing, call the people. And the Sahaba, they understood this very well from day one, as a few examples were given. And they understood it very well on the day of Arafah, on the plain of Arafat, where the Prophet ﷺ was addressing more than or around 100,000 companions. Then he said, فَلْيُبَلِّغِ الشَّاهِدِ الْغَائِبِ. Those who are present should inform those who are absent. The Sahaba, they understood the message. Handfuls of them died in Arabia, within Arabia, the rest outside. Doing what?
Da'wah.
Da'wah. Inviting the people, calling them to the way of salvation, the way of hidayah, guidance.
Sheikh Asim, what do you have to say?
I have a lot, but I'm not going to take the whole episode for myself. I remember just now, as the two sheikhs were talking, on top of the list always comes sincerity. So there is no da'i, there is no caller to Islam acceptable without sincerity. And a short story, we all know that Mus'ab ibn Umayr, may Allah be pleased with him, and inshallah your son would be like him.
Inshallah.
He was the messenger of the Prophet ﷺ to Medina, and he was accompanied by Usayd ibn Hudayr. And while they were calling the people to Islam, it reached Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, who was a pagan at the time, and he was the head of Bani Abd al-Ashhal, of Al-Aws. So he talked to As'ad ibn Zurara, and he said, listen, you go and talk to them so that they may stop this evil, what they're doing, spreading Islam. This is evil to him. And had it not been that Usayd was my cousin, I would have gone there and have showed him what he deserves. So As'ad ibn Zurara goes there, and look at the sincerity. Usayd ibn Hudayr talks to Mus'ab, and he says, listen, comes to you one of the dignitary of his people. Have sincerity, and Allah will guide him. So the man put his spear, and he started slandering and cursing and saying bad words to them. Mus'ab said, listen, don't do this. Sit and listen to what we have to say. If you like it, alhamdulillah. If you don't, we'll leave the whole city for you. And the man said, this is fair. He heard what Mus'ab had to say, which took probably 5 to 10 minutes. He recited some ayahs of the Quran. He told him about Islam. The man said, this is a beautiful religion. What do I do to embrace it? And they showed him what to do, and he said, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. What is the amount of the Quran that this man recites? What is the amount of hadith that this man knows? How many rak'ahs did he pray? Nothing. He immediately turned into a da'i. He said, listen, I'm going to Sa'd ibn Mu'adh, and I'm going to trick him to bring him over. Because if he embraces Islam, subhanallah, lots of good would happen. He goes and he tricks him. He said, listen, tribe of so-and-so, I think they're plotting to harm your cousin Usaid. And Sa'ad said, by Allah, you did not do anything. Your face is not the same. And he went there. And the minute he saw them sitting there in peace, he knew he was tricked. So he started cursing and saying bad things. But the same thing happened. Sit down and listen. If you don't like it, we'll leave. And he sat down and he, in few minutes, completely converted and became a Muslim. Not only that, he went to his tribe, Bani Abd al-Ashhal, and he gathered all of them, men and women and children, and he said, what a man am I to you? They said, you are our master, you are the best of us, you are the most knowledgeable one of us. He said, by Allah, speaking to each and every one of you is haram, is forbidden for me. I will not address anyone until you accept the deen, the religion that I have accepted. The sun did not set before everyone in his tribe embraced Islam. So sincerity, and this is what all of us lack, unfortunately. And this is what we have to, round the clock, try our best to fix and maintain, is the most essential characteristic in a da'i.
Jazakumullah khair for sticking around, and we'll be back shortly, inshallah. Here, the da'iyah must be sincere, which means that the deed is for Allah alone. Not Allah and something else, strictly for the sake of Allah. There are many evidences for that. I'm sure the viewers are aware of them, inshallah. What else?
I mentioned one, which is don't lose hope. So you continue doing the act, don't despair, don't expect that people in front of you will accept the da'wah. So continue working and don't lose hope.
Results are in the hands of Allah.
Yeah, so this is the quality I want to focus on here, is that don't lose hope. Continue doing the work until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
Perseverance.
Yes, perseverance
Beautiful.
in da'wah.
Sheikh Asim or Sheikh Salim, what other characteristics are vital?
Yes, Jazakallah khair. Sincerity is very important here. And we need to, put more emphasis on it. Because at the end of the day, Allah is looking at your heart. And He's seeing. If it is not for Him, He's not going to accept it. Not accept it. So always keep questioning yourself. Am I doing it for Him or for showing off? Nowadays there is a disease which is common among the da'is, the celebrity, people that became famous. TVs made them famous. And they started to, some, may Allah guide all of us, to feel or think that they are scholars when they are not. We have to face the reality. And all the listeners who are listening now, watching, they have to differentiate. Not everyone comes on the screen as alim or maulana or allama or scholar. So we need to keep checking ourselves down to earth. This could be a fitna for you, becoming famous. Fame is a fitna for you. So unless you are doing it sincerely and keep checking yourself and lowering yourself for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and at the end, before you go to bed, you shed tears and cry to Allah and beg Him to forgive you, you'll be in a bad shape. May Allah save us from showing off. So the ikhlas, my dear brothers and sisters, is the fuel of the vehicle of the da'wah. But this motor, this vehicle to run, to keep running, is the fuel, is the ikhlas. Not the money, nothing else. It is His deen. This is Allah's deen. Allah takes care of it, with us or without us. It is an honor if Allah chose you as a servant and accepted you. It's not something you look for prestigious or prestige or whatever. So that's why we need to keep checking ourselves. When you are invited to give a talk and the turnout is little, that will not affect you. Even if it is one, give the talk. Not that you stipulate and you put conditions and listen until the turnout of the audience, this number I will not give. That means there is something wrong with the ikhlas. Are we better than the messengers and prophet of Allah? And some of them will come with no one. At least you have handfuls in front of you. A prophet will come, no one.
After possibly years of da'wah.
And he didn't
Not
give
even
up.
one lectures.
So as the Sheikh mentioned, we leave it. It is His. It's only we are cause. We are a means. We are tools. Allah is the one who guides. And also, we should have rahmah in our hearts towards those who are not yet Muslims. Those who are off the track from among the Muslims, rahmah, affection, mercy, kindness. As Shaykh al-Islam rahimahullah mentioned in his book, Minhaj al-Sunnah, he said, Ahl al-Sunnah ya'rifuna al-haqqa wa yarhamuna al-khalq. People of the Sunnah, they know the truth, but they show mercy towards people, kindness towards the people. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu on his way to Jerusalem, when he saw that hermit, that monk worshipping, he said, Amilatun nasiba. He's a hard worker. He's striving hard, but he's doomed to hell. Then he cried. He cried. Why he cried? The rahmah. The companion, when he saw many from among the Khawari were killed, he said, the worst people under the canopy of the sky, the dogs of the hellfire. Then he wept, he cried. He said, why did you cry? He said, I remembered that they are from the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. From the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So where is that rahmah in the heart towards others? Subhanallah, you know he's going to hell. What have you done for him? If a blind man is going to fall into the ditch, into a hole, and you're watching, you have to run and save him. I once read that in one of military expeditions, they came across a wise man, the Muslims. And they asked him, after they talked to him, they realized that he was wise. They said, why don't you become a Muslim? He said, the key not with me. The key is not with me. So the commander, the Muslim commander, immediately, he realized what he meant. He said to those who are with him, raise your hands, I'm going to pray. He supplicated to Allah to guide him. The wise man was started crying, tell him, yes, the key started to move. The door is moving, carry on. And he embraced Islam on the spot. This is the ikhlas. When you cry day and night, as the Prophet ﷺ used to do, فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعٌ نَفْسَكَ عَلَىٰ آثَارِهِمْ إِن لَمْ يُؤْمِنُوا بِهَذَا الْحَدِيثِ أَسَفًا. The Prophet ﷺ was about to kill himself out of sorrow upon his people. He didn't want them to go to hell. As a matter of fact, those callers to Islam, they are actually saviors by Allah's will, inshallah. They are helpers. They want to help you, to rescue you from falling into the pit of fire. So we need to keep working in our hearts, because whatever comes from the heart reaches the heart. It's a fact. I know a brother who's a da'i, mashallah, in the States. He doesn't have a lot of qualifications, but the people, mashallah, becoming Muslims. It's here, something here. This is between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your words, they soften people's heart. They penetrate, they reach them. May Allah make us among them. Ameen.
So sincerity, compassion, perseverance, kindness and gentleness in the approach, being concerned about the invitees, that it's not like, go to hell, rather than come and let's walk together to paradise, come along, as opposed to that other attitude, which many du'at possibly fall into out of excitement, perhaps. May Allah rectify our condition and forgive us. Sheikh Asim, what else? What other language? Do you think language is an element when you deal?
Before going to such other characteristics, the compassion and the mercy that was displayed by the Prophet ﷺ is second to none. When he went to Taif, trying to call them to Islam before he migrated to Medina, he was received in a very bad way. Not only that, they ridiculed him, they rejected him, and they instructed their slaves and children to stone the Prophet ﷺ with pebbles that made his feet bleed. And Aisha radiallahu anha told us that she asked the Prophet ﷺ, was there any incident so severe to you more than Uhud, the battle of Uhud? He said, yes, on the day of Taif, when I walked without realizing until I reached Qarn al-Tha'alib, which is like half a day walk or less, imagining walking without being able to see in front of you because of the depression, because of what you felt, sorrow. And then Jibreel descended, peace be upon him. And he said, "O Muhammad, the gates of heaven are opened, and this is angel of the mountains descending, and he never descended before." And he said, "O Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah Azza wa Jal has instructed me. If you wish, I'd collapse the two mountains on top of their head." Now, any one of us would immediately say, "Go for it."
Revenge.
It's not revenge. They refused my call. They refused to embrace the things that I believe in. So what good are they? The Prophet ﷺ was not like that. He showed the true compassion and mercy. And he said, "No, not for them." SubhanAllah, it extended to their offspring. He said, "I hope from Allah Azza wa Jal that He will get from their offspring, these pagans, He will get from their offspring people who would worship Him alone."
SubhanAllah.
So this is part of the compassion and the mercy of the Prophet ﷺ.
I will take it from here.
We actually are towards the end of the time, but good news is that there's another episode dedicated to this very interesting topic. And so inshallah, in the very next episode, you will basically share with us your points. I apologize. And as for the viewers, Jazakumullah khair for your patience, and we hope that you have benefited from what you have heard. And we ask Allah to make us benefit from what we have heard. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.